Hello Plant Tribe, and how is everybody doing today? It is a gorgeous Friday. It's a Friday. You won't see this until Sunday, but it's still a weekend day, so it's still yay. That was a bit much. Okay, hi, how are ya? How you doing? If you're new here, welcome. It is so amazing to meet you. My name is Nikki. This is my channel, Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back for more. I really appreciate it. Mwah, mwah. Okay, so what are we doing today? You probably could already tell by the title of this video, but I'm going to be running you through all of my new lighting. I have done two past lighting videos. One was back in the beginning when I was doing succulents exclusively for the most part. And then I did a second one, just kind of like an update on some of the new grow lights that I've gotten and stuff like that. And I have found some new ones that I've been using for quite a while now that I really liked, and I've been getting quite a few questions recently about what my lighting is like. And so I thought I would just do a little update on my lighting and tell you what I think about all of these. And then, you know, if that helps you and, you know, you want to nab one of these babies for yourself, there's all kinds of different ones, and that's kind of what I like, and I'll show you. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so if that sounds like something you'd like to stick around and watch, then by all means, stick around and watch, and let's light up. No, let's get lit. No. Why don't you just come and look at my grow lights? To go change. I love that hoodie. I just got it this morning actually. Tried it on. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so warm and so cozy. It was a little cooler this morning, so I thought, oh great, I get to wear it all day. And then I sat down to film, and then I get in front of the light, and then I'm like sweating my arse off, and I was like, yo. Anywho, those hoodies with the Plant Tribe across the back are available on Mellow Monkey's website this weekend. So if that's something that you're interested in getting, go check them out and grab yourself a hashtag Plant Tribe, Plant Pots and Whatnots hoodie. Super cozy. I love those hoodies. I hate, like, I'm a hoodie fanatic, and I hate scratchy hoodies. And this one's actually really, really comfortable, so I was pretty jazzed about that. Okay, anyways, enough about that. Today, and like most other days, my wine of choice today is this Riesling. I really, really enjoy Riesling, and let's be honest, the bottle was fun. For this one in particular, not sure how you spell it. Really good. Anyway, that's what we're drinking today. Before I get into all of the different lights, I will kind of preface this whole video by saying this. Point number one, all of these lights will be linked down in the description of this video should you want to check them out. As a side note, I do get a small commission off of anything that you purchase through any of those links that are linked below. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just a bonus for me. It's a little help me out to help you out sort of thing. And it definitely, I do appreciate it if you end up purchasing anything off Amazon by clicking through the links that are down below. So, also, the second thing I want to say about this whole lighting situation is lighting is really a trial and error scenario. I have tried, oh my gosh, at least 10 to 15 different types of grow lights, grow bulbs, so on and so on. So, I have tried a whole bunch of different grow lights. None of these lights are crazy expensive. Like, I'm not going out and buying like a light that costs like $100, $200, $300. Like, that's just crazy. We spend enough on plants as it is. And personally, I'd rather buy a plant than a grow light. And I have. So that's the other thing that I want to say. The third thing is, really, it's trial and error. Try one of these lights. They're reasonably priced options. Depending on what your home setup situation and what the look is that you want will kind of really depend on what light you go for. All of the ones that I'm going to show you today are the ones that I have found, for me personally, work the best in the situations in which I have them. They might not necessarily work as good for you in your home, in your situation. I get, a lot of people saying, oh, how far away do you have this or that? Or I could tell you. But I mean, not everybody's experience is going to be the same. So everything that I'm going to relay to you today is just from personal experience and from trying different things and from actually using these lights for an extended period of time. All of these lights I've had for 6 months plus. And I feel like you can really get a good idea, a good handle on what your plants are going to do with that particular lighting situation in about a 6-month span, especially in your growing season and that kind of thing. And over the winter, so it kind of encompasses both. Okay, let's just get into the lights. Okay, so this first light that you see behind me, and I'll kind of insert photos as I deem necessary as we go along here, but these ones are the second most recent, so these are the second last ones that I got that I tried out. And when I tell you I searched for lights like this forever, I'm not joking. You can find all kinds of strip lights, especially here in Canada. You can find all kinds of those strip lights in that like pink and purple and blue, like grow op coloring, but not necessarily the white lights. And the white lights are what I wanted. A lot of my plants, as you know, are out as display pieces, and I don't want that disco rave look going on in my house. So I finally found these and I absolutely love them. So they come in like, there's 6 lights all together that are this long. You can connect them all together if you have a scenario kind of like I have on the shelves in the front here. So I have 4 on this one, 1 on this one. Where did I put my other one? Maybe I don't have it up. I might not. I'm gonna have to look at that. Anyways, so so I have them in all kinds of different situations, and they really are kind of versatile that way. They are great underneath cabinets if you have plants along your counter or something like that. They are great with these, I call them my Home Depot racks. I don't really know where they came from because I got them secondhand. But they work really well up here. I have them on my IKEA shelves that you can see here in the back, and all of my plants are loving these lights. So I was so excited when I found these. Now, I had to kind of finagle the ones on the IKEA shelves a little bit because the glass is up a little higher than the metal, and because of the length of the actual bulb, it didn't sit quite right. So I red-greened it like a good Canadian gal. And it works. My plants are loving them though. I have my cactus shelf here. I have my Hoya shelf right here. This is really difficult to do. Look at that. That's all right. Sorry, small things. I have my Hoya here, and both, like all of the plants on those shelves are loving it. It seems to be at the perfect height. The plants are super happy, and all of my aeroids that are underneath this particular grow light. So this one is about, I would say, a foot-ish underneath the grow light, and they are all super happy. Now again, with that whole trial and error thing, you need to find out how high you can have that. There's a fine line sometimes between burning a plant and having the plant not get enough light. And every plant is different. Some plants can take a little bit higher light. For example, my philodendron mamey, I had it on this shelf, too bright, started burning. I was like, oh shoot. So I had to move that one out, but it definitely is a trial and error scenario. I probably could have put it beside, but I had stuff beside here and that would have been good. But I just moved it across the way here, and it has been perfectly happy there since. So these ones I would be my #1 recommendation for shelving and that kind of lighting situation. So if you put your plants on bookshelves or IKEA shelves or Home Depot shelves, those lights are perfect. They look nice. They're not hideous. And so that is definitely my #1 recommendation for that kind of scenario. So like a shelving type scenario. So let's move on to the next ones. Okay, the next ones that I have to show you was kind of awkward to fit myself and the light in the frame. So ignore the weird things going on here. So it's this light right here. These are the most recent ones I got because I needed something up above the top shelves on these Home Depot racks. Also, the other thing that I wanted to use it for was in my corner above my Dieffenbachia and Hartley philodendron, because it was getting no light from the top, only some light from the bottom, and that just wasn't working. Now that you've seen it, I'm just going to insert a picture because this angle is whack. Okay, that's a little better. I'll step aside and put the photo here so you can see what these look like, and I'll just run through some specs. So these are really, really cool. I like the fact that they are a full spectrum, as were the ones I showed you previously, these ones. And I like them because you can angle them. There are 3 arms, so it kind of reaches more area, which is super handy. I like that they have that flex though. I think that's probably my favorite feature. And I will show you here a couple photos of the situations that I have these in, and you'll kind of see what I mean as far as how it's really handy and convenient that they do bend like that. These were super cheap. I think I got 2 of these. 2 of these were maybe like $30, I want to say. I don't think they were expensive at all. I'll have to double check. I could be totally wrong, but they weren't expensive. They were absolutely not more than like $100, absolutely nowhere near $100. This is, again, all Canadian, because that's what I am. So if you have a scenario where you need light up high, what I've done here is put one of those little plant hanger screw hook things. Oh, wow, Nikki, articulation today. Into the ceiling, and then just hung the actual light from that. And it worked amazingly well. Now, I will tell you that these are just the actual bulb parts themselves, so you would have to purchase the actual electric part. What is that called? I don't even know what it's called. The part that you screw the bulb into separately. Now, I already had these because I used to have, if you'll remember, and I still have a couple of these set up, but those ones with the big silver like shade on them. So I already had those. I just kind of took them off and then used this as the actual bulb. So these are just the actual bulb part. Anyway, super love these things. They're great for up high, getting on top of shelves. And again, you can angle them, which is super handy. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one I have is the one on this shelf here. This one I've had for quite some time actually, and I really enjoy it. In fact, I liked it so much, I bought a second one for the shelf on the other side. So there's actually 3 arms on this one, and I like these ones in particular because they're really stiff. Wherever you put them, they actually stay there. I have a couple other ones of those ones on the gooseneck, like the longer ones, and the gooseneck part is just not strong enough to hold it where I want it. If you're gonna make a gooseneck product, make sure that it can hold up to, you know what I mean? Make sure it's stiff enough. So if there's any companies out there watching this that make grow lights, if you're gonna make a gooseneck product, make the gooseneck stiff. Okay. Anyways, so these ones here are really cool. I have it clamped to this shelf right here on the back, and then I have the 2 up top here, and then I've bent one down and underneath here. I cannot sing the praises of this particular light more. I really, really like it, and I think I paid $35-ish for that. Now, I know at one point they did jump up. I haven't looked at them recently, but I will put, like I said, all of the links down in the description. Actually, I believe this one's probably already there, but it doesn't matter because by the time you see this, it'll be there anyways. Anywho, so this one is definitely a great option, whether you want to use it on a shelf like this, or if you want it for, you know, a table or a counter or something like that. These ones are cool because they have that, it's not just like a clamp. Sorry. It's one of those ones that you actually have to screw in, so it's much, much more stable, and I really, really like that. But it all depends, again, on where you're using these things, what your aesthetic is, you know, me personally, I was able to hide the clamp part. So that was kind of nice. But I mean, it depends. The things we do for our plants, right? I do have some lighting that's not exactly aesthetically pleasing, but I didn't spend $200 to $300 on it. And I'm not going to. There's cheaper options, and honestly, I'm a plant collector, not a grow light collector, so would I like some more aesthetically pleasing ones? Sure, but I'm just not going to pay the aesthetically pleasing price, because it's not pleasing. Anyways. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say about these. That is, if you're looking for a light like this, definitely this is my #1 pick for that style of light. For sure. So, let's move on and check out the next one. Okay, we really didn't need to move that far. The next ones are these ones. These ones I've had for a while, and they are still sticking around. And there's a reason that they're still sticking around, because they work. Plain and simple. Now, these are probably the least aesthetically pleasing lights that I do have. But you know what? They work. They're great. You can point them in all kinds of different directions. The actual clamp part here is very, very strong. You can bend this in whatever direction you want and just tighten this bolt here, or nut bolt. It's a nut. I think it's a nut. Just tighten that down and it will stay where you put it. So wherever I angle this, it will just stay there. And it's been really nice. As you can tell, I have one here and one here on either side of my TV stand with the plants on it, and that has worked so well. So again, it's one of those scenarios where you find what works for you, you find what aesthetic you want, and you kind of have to purchase within that. I have tried, like I said, pretty much every kind of bulb and light there is. So I will also link below the actual bulb that is in these sockets. Good job, Nikki. I will link the actual bulbs down below that I use as well. I really like them. I actually bought quite a few of them, and I ended up putting them in my lamps and in my like my ceiling fan light. They're all grow bulbs. I figure, I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but it can't hurt. So that's what I did. Anyway, yeah, so that is the next one, and let's move on to the next one. I think the next one, yes, the next one's the last white bulb that I will show you. Okay, let's go check it out. Okay, the next and the last white natural light looking lights that I want to show you are these plate lights. These are the best. They are great. They work like a charm. I haven't lost even one little LED, and I've had the oldest one I've had. Okay, so I bought, let me back up a little. I bought one just to test it out, see if I liked it, and I liked it so much I bought 4 more. I really, really like these lights. So they're really, really super. Let me see if I can tilt you up just a smidgen. There, you can see how thin they are. They're super thin. Like, probably the thickness of my finger. So they're very tiny, very low profile. So they're also great to have on shelving units like this, or on like a bookcase or something like that. Although they are quite high output. So I think that you might run into issues putting them on a bookshelf depending on how tall between shelves you are. If you maybe take out a shelf and have like 2 shelves tall, I think that would be great. But these lights are really great. They're really convenient. They do come with these little like carabiners and these strings, it's like wires, so that you can hang them. But I have actually just taken those little clips and clipped it right to the racking on these Home Depot shelves, and it works perfectly. Also, my plants love this light. This is not sponsored, by the way, by any of these light makers. I purchased all of these except for the very last one that I will show you, and I'll explain that when I get there. Anywho, So these are really great. A friend of mine, a plant friend of mine, ended up buying some of these. She saw them on a video I did last year, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Nikki, those are perfect for what I want." And so I sent her the link. She went and bought them. She loves them. They're perfect for her space. And because of their compact size, so they're just like a square. They really fit into pretty much anywhere. You can see on this one I have 3. So there's one right here. There's one right here that does hang a little bit lower because it's between the shelves. So the frame of the shelf comes down a little, so I had to hang it lower. And then one over here. And that works perfectly. And I think the proof is in the pudding, if that's how you say that. Anyway, so that is another one of my absolute favorite lights. Like I said, I've gotten to the point where all of the lights I have in my home, I think out of everything that I've tried, are definitely the best. So these are all the ones that I highly recommend you getting. I'm not going to show you the ones I don't recommend because I don't really recommend them. So these are just simply the ones that I have found work really well and that I really like, and my plants are enjoying. Okay, so that's the last white light. So let's move on. I have 2 different types of the pink and then pink and blue lights to show you that I use in my greenhouses. So let's go check those ones out. Okay, I'm not sure how easy this one is going to be able to see, but these pink lights here, I'll insert footage so you can actually see what these look like, but these are strip lights. They are only pink. There is no other color, but it really does make them great for this greenhouse. So there actually is 4 lights. They do connect together. You can disconnect them or connect them depending on how long you need. So I actually have 3 on the very top, so that it's a little bit more light for the plants on the top, and then I have 1 on this shelf and 1 on this shelf. Wait, is there more than that? Oh, there isn't 1 on this shelf, sorry. Anyway, they have worked really well in this greenhouse. I really enjoy them. They do get a little bit warm, but not like crazy hot. Like they're not gonna like burn your house down. I was really nervous for the first like month that I had them, because I did find they get a little bit warm, but I have had these for, I would say, a year now, and they work great. I've never had one fail on me. I haven't had a bulb burnout or an LED burnout. So they have been really great. They're really great for greenhouse, or again, if you have like bookshelf and you want to light those, as long as you don't mind that pink look. Personally, this colored light, like if I work in here, I made the mistake of working in here one day for about 2 hours, and I had the worst eye ache and headache ever for like a day and a half after that. So I do suggest that if you're working around them, that you do turn them off. It doesn't bother me just to be in the area, but if I am looking like into the greenhouse for even 10 to 15 seconds, I can feel it in my eyeballs. So there's that. Okay, so I will link those down below. Now this is all provided that all of these lights are actually still available. I really hope so. If I can't link this exact one, I will definitely go ahead and link a similar product, or maybe another one from that company, or whatever. So that, anyway, is a really great option if you have a greenhouse. The cords that connect them are more than long enough to reach the entire length of the shelf, and I used to have it set up like that, so every one of these 5 shelves in this greenhouse had a light on it, which was really cool. I just recently kind of switched it around because I wanted more light on the top. So that is that light. Let's go check out the very last one. Okay, the very last one that I have, and I'm going to insert footage because you can't really see it. This is a light from GrowStar. Now, they reached out to me last year at the end of the year and wanted me to do a review on this light. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So I got it home, I unboxed it. I still have the footage of us unboxing it, I think. But the only problem was it really didn't work in any space that I had at that particular time. So I wasn't able to do the review. So when I got this little greenhouse, so this is a shorter one. This is the 4-tiered greenhouse. When I got this one, I was like, oh, that's perfect for it. So this is a higher end grow light. So these are the ones that definitely you see people growing marijuana and that sort of thing with. But I use it in this little greenhouse and it works so well. I am really impressed with this light. So it does have a fan on it. The light itself does get pretty warm. As you can see, I do have my, I don't even know if you can tell, it's pretty bright in there. So this is all of my succulents. And this is the light that I use for my succulents so that they don't stretch out. So while I'm not using them in arrangements and that kind of thing, they do sit in here on this shelf. And it keeps them, with the exception of the ones that I purposely stretched out over the last like 6 to 8 months. But it keeps all of my succulents nice and compact and beautiful like they're supposed to look. It has a fan in it that keeps the air circulating around the electronics so the actual unit doesn't overheat, which is super cool. It is not waterproof. So now I did have this downstairs at one point with a whole bunch of cuttings in it. I did have it closed off and it got up to about 90% humidity and this thing kept on working. So I think you just don't want it, like you don't want a humidifier pointed directly at it or something like that, because I'm sure that's going to cause problems. But it doesn't seem to mind humidity. But I have it in here. This one stays open all the time. I have some cuttings in here, but they have their own little humidity containers. Some melanochrysum cuttings. Cross your fingers for me. Anyways, so amazingly, I finally found a great use for this and I'm actually really impressed with it. Now this one, like I said, is a little higher end. It is going to cost you a little bit more. But it really depends, again, on what you're looking for. If you have a grow tent that you grow your plants in, or succulents, it's great for succulents, then I would highly recommend this light. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope that this information was even marginally helpful to someone. I know I've been getting lots of questions about lighting, especially for succulents. What I will tell you, a little bit more keyed in towards the succulent part of things, you definitely need something that packs a punch, that has high foot candle output, because they do like a lot of light. If you don't have a lot of light, your succulents are going to stretch. If you have too much light, your succulents are going to burn. So again, it's like anything else. There's a line. You have to find that kind of happy medium. If you find that in a situation like this, they're too close, they're burning, maybe set them down on the second shelf. That's what I did here. I've been watching them just to make sure, and they seem to be okay, so they're fine. They're gonna stay there. So, anywho, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I love answering your questions, and I love chatting with you guys. So I want to thank all of you guys for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and consider subscribing. It is a huge help to my channel, and I definitely do appreciate it. Okay, that is the end of the video. So I would like all of you guys to have a great day, night, week, month, and year. And don't forget, I love you all to bitty bits. See you in the next one. Mwah! I want to move into the country and eat me a lot of peaches. Anyways, for the love. So, these ones I definitely recommend. These would probably these, I just bit my tongue again. These braces need to, are you serious?